got me. Hey, man.
Oh yay. So have you ever met someone who's been part of like a fan website and plays you on the page? Because I post stuff as you. Tamaki Sewell.
You're kidding. You do?
Yeah. I play
Please tell
Tamaki
me
Sewell.
you're nice to me.
I'm the most romantic person on the site. I will tell you that now. Yes.
Oh, wait. A little dissension here.
She hasn't checked out the site, so she wouldn't
Is he the
know.
most romantic person on the site?
She doesn't
I
know.
can't see him being romantic, period.
Dang, that's harsh, bro.
I will pull up the page later and I'll show you, but I can't show it.
What would make him more romantic? Is it the way
If I
he
looked good.
talks, or
No,
talking is a good thing, right?
he's not very nice to girls.
What?
He calls me names.
What kind of names does he call you? Do that. What kind of names does he call you?
He calls me bad names like swear words.
I do not. I do not. Shame on you.
Well, let me tell you something. What is your name?
Hi.
Desiree, I want you to remember something very important.
Okay.
A gentleman never uses dirty words.
Exactly.
You liar. You liar.
No.
Maybe in an hour or so.
You're so mean.
Oh, thanks, man. Are you referring to drinking? You're talking about drinking, aren't you? Let me think about it, yes. I think one of the things I love about Pitt's great.
By the way, be ready for this point because of him being so public speaking.
Thank you. You know what I love about Crow? Is that he's drunk all the time, and I've never been drunk a day in my life. I've never done that. I grew up in a very conservative home, so when I was young, you know, I heard from every adult in my life, don't do that. Don't drink to excess. Don't do this, you know, do that, don't do that. Very strict home. And by the time I was old enough to go away to college and do whatever I wanted, it held no allure for me. So now, like if we go out tonight for dinner, I'll have a glass of wine, maybe. Okay? But I won't, you know, I've never drank. I mean, even when I was in college, bro, I never drank to the point where I was ever drunk or to excess. So I love playing characters like that. And he's the second one. You know, Kurt Weber from Full Metal Panic. There were a couple of episodes where he was sloshed in the episode. And I thought it was so funny because I don't know what that would sound like if it were me, because I've never been that. So Crow was really, really fun. And it's so funny because I don't try to make him sound drunk, but I think he just comes out that way. So I love that. I love Crow a lot. Oh no, what? Oh no. Oh no, he is. And forever will be. Amen. I love Crow. I met the Ruby people at a convention in Australia, and they told me all about Ruby, and I had no idea what it was. Literally, I didn't know what Rooster Teeth was. I didn't even know roosters had teeth.
They don't.
And they told me all about this show they were making, and I thought they were fans. I mean, I just thought they were making a fan thing. And when they showed me the artwork, I was like, dang, that's really good. That looks really professional. And then we came home from Australia, and they contacted me and said, hey, Vic, we met you in Australia, and we told you about our show, Ruby. Would you like to play a character? We're big fans of Full Metal and Moron. Would you like to play a character? And I was like, sure, okay. Now, I'd like to point something out real quick at this moment. I didn't ask them, well, how much does it pay? I don't care. I thought it would be fun. So, come to find out that the people I was talking to in Australia were Lindsay Jones and her husband Michael, who plays Ruby. I mean, Lindsay. And I had no idea. And so when they asked me if I would do this, I said, sure. What's the character? And they said, oh, it's Ruby's Uncle Crow. And I said, well, what does he look like? And they sent me some drawings of Crow, and I sent them back 2 or 3 different ideas for the character's voice, and the one that they liked was the one that you guys hear now. And they send me the scripts, and I record them in my studio in my home, and then send them back. So I don't even get the privilege to work with the other Ruby actors. Like all of the other Ruby actors, they come into Rooster Teeth's studios in Austin, and they all sit around together and record the episodes together. Well, wouldn't that be fun? But I don't get to do that. So they'll send me all the lines, Crow's lines of dialogue, and I'll record them, and I'll send them a couple of different versions of each line, because every line can be said several different ways, right? For instance, this guy that's sleeping right now. If the line in the script says, where are you going? Picture that in your mind, those 4 words, right? What if I'm offended? Where are you going? Right? Or what if I'm ticked? Where are you going? Right? I mean, there are different ways you can inflect even the smallest of lines. So, not always knowing what they have in mind, and only recording my parts, I'll send them a few versions of every line, so they can pick the one that works best. Question? Yes, my dear. You saw that I voice acted something in Pokemon. Yes, I've played several characters actually. The biggest one was a character he was the main character in one of the movies named Keldeo. Yeah. And it was the Sword of Justice, Keldeo and the Sword of Justice or something like that. Yeah. And then there were several, there were 2 characters that I played in the series. Do you watch it? Do you know Pokemon? There was an episode called A UFO for Elgium. And there was this kind of an inventor who had this little alien that he had found, and he was building him a UFO so he could go home and get back home. It was really a sweet episode, and I played the inventor guy. And then there was another episode where they went to this house that was had all of these moving parts, and the house was shifting and changing, and I played this man who was like the expert on this house, and he was kind of telling them he'd researched this house and studied it for years and knew all about it. And I was just actually, here we are in Rochester, I was just in New York City about 3 weeks ago were you there? Liberty Anime, and I stayed one day over to record some more Pokemon, because they record that in New York City. So yes, those are some of the things I've done for Pokemon. Yes.
Are you gonna be at Soccer Con next coming spring?
Soccer Con in Seattle? No, and guess why? Because I'm going to be at Emerald City Comic-Con in Seattle, which I've never been to. For those of you that don't know, Emerald City is a huge convention in Seattle. It's like a big pop culture con. Sakura Con is a big anime-specific convention in Seattle. And I've never been invited to Emerald City because my event manager tells me they won't have me because I do Sakura Con all the time. They're like, well, we're not going to bring you to our show if you keep doing the big anime show, why would we bring you to the same city? You know what I mean? So I did not do Sakura Con this year, and I told them I promised I would not do it next year. So I could go to Emerald City, because I've heard really good things about Emerald City. Well, Sakura Con is amazing. I love that show, and I love those people. It's great? Yeah, it's great. Have I seen you there? Really? Oh, thank you. My gosh, thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Hi. You look so familiar. I can't quite picture it. I can't place where I know you from. What is your question?
What was it like working on an episode of Miraculous Ladybug?
Oh, Ladybug, yes, you guys look great. Are you Cat Noir? Isn't that crazy? I didn't know that. That's crazy. I really enjoyed being a small part of Ladybug. I've done a couple of characters in Ladybug. I did this one guy, I think he was a bad guy, like Pharaoh, the Pharaoh, yeah. And then there was another one that I did, I can't remember what it was. That's the problem. The one problem when you do a lot of different little episodic characters is they kind of start to meld together. And by the time they're released to the public and you guys get to see them, well, that I recorded that 7 months ago, and 50 episodes ago. You know, I mean, and 50 different shows. So it's hard to keep track of some of those episodic characters sometimes. Yes. Oh, I loved getting to record the One Piece openings. I did 3 of them. And you know, for those of you that don't know, I'm very big into music. Music is I would dare say, my first love. I've been writing and producing and singing and playing the piano twice as long as I've been voice acting. That's a long time. And so, but for many, many years, I would voice act for anime, but I never got to use any of my love for music in anime. It was like never the twain shall meet, you know, like you do music, you do voice acting. In fact, even when it was fans who wrote me one day when I was getting ready to go to a convention 15 years ago and said, hey, will you bring some of your music? I didn't even know they knew I did music. And I was certain they wouldn't like it, because it's not J-pop, you know what I mean? It's not anime music. And I thought,
I think that's
and
cool.
I wrote them
I
back.
can
I'm
understand
like, oh,
you.
you would know music.
I love J-pop.
And they're like, oh, well, bring your CDs. And so I brought a few to a convention, and people got them, and they enjoyed them, and I started doing more. But my point is that the voice acting and the music were always very separate. And even when there was music in an anime, like there was a show years ago called Beck. It's a music show. And I was like, okay, well, how am I not cast in the show, right? I wasn't in the show. And I thought, oh my gosh, like I live music, you know? I've produced 25 records for different artists. I've got 6 of my own. I've produced hundreds of singles and jingles and post scores and radio pieces, but I never got to use any of my musical love for anime until somebody directing One Piece wrote me and said, hey, we're doing these openings in English. Would you like to do one? And I was like, yeah, I would love it. Yes, I've been waiting and hoping. And so I did the first one. I think We Are was the first one I did.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was Hikari E. I think back to the time when my search first began. That was the first one that I did. And then they contacted me later and said, will you do this one? And I think it was We Are, right?
I think so.
Come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. And then the last one, the third one was A to Z. You can't stop me now, I'm always going. A to Z, I run without stopping.
You don't know that one?
Is I can't remember the words, that's why I'm not saying it. You know, I
I didn't even know that was one of his.
but I got to do 3 of them. And then they asked me to do the Dragon Ball Z Kai theme. Right?
Yeah, you did that one.
I love it. I love it. Mysteries abound, made of a deep energy. Oh, I love the echo. Who just did that? I love you. And then I did a DBZ Dragon Ball. Oh, what's the other one? No, early on.
I don't know.
Well, I did the song. I did Tamaki's song from Orin. I did the Brothers theme from Full Metal.
Dean Angel.
But
Yeah.
Dragon
True Light
Ball.
was a good song.
What was there was another Dragon Ball series. Say it. Somebody. Dragon Ball GT. Dragon Ball GT. What was that song? Bit by bit, I'm falling under your spell.
Oh yeah.
Your smile's all I need to do. We can't find it. No, that's not. Well, that was part of it. You see, it all melts together. That's what we learned. Anyway, so yes, I'm so excited. And then I've been asked to adapt some lyrics for several songs. I got to sing in another show. Anybody know Show by Roc? Great show. And I played the lead singer of this pop group named Shuzo, and we record all the songs. So that was really. So I've really enjoyed bringing the music, my love for music, into the anime stuff. Yes.
Okay, so you're probably gonna hate me.
Oh
I'm probably gonna hate
I know
you.
that your voice is not.
If you ask me to say Kakarot, I will kill you.
You were talking about that
I
earlier.
won't say it, so you won't even die happy.
Can you not say Kakarot?
What is your question?
Well, the question was, could you scream Kakarot?
Oh my.
I would like my pipsqueak army over here to take this kid out. No, that's not gonna happen. I love you, but it's not gonna happen. Dude, I gotta tell you something. I don't even say that when I'm feeling good. Because it's you know what it sounds like, and it doesn't sound like this. You know, it's pretty hardcore. And so I say that for when I actually have to, and there's something recording it. You know, I gotta tell you something funny about Kakarot. How many ways can you say Kakarot? Not many. You know? And I've said that word 1,000 times. Every time. Don't tell anybody I said this. Like that's gonna work, right? all the video cameras. We're not gonna tell anybody. We won't say a thing. Upload.
Download.
Every time they call me in to do a Dragon Ball Z video game, I'm like, really? So you want me to say Kakarot 400 more times? I know that there is a database. I know it. There's a database with every time I've said Kakarot in every different conceivable way. Somebody even told me there's a video game. One of the games, I don't know if this is true. I would love it if it was. There is a DBZ video game, and if you hold down a sequence of buttons, it'll play all of the Kakarot.
Oh no.
Back to back.
Oh no.
Kakarot for 4 minutes. Every way that I said it. So whenever I go into after 13 games, right? Whenever I go into the recording studio for a new video game, and they put the script on screen, and I see Kakarot, I'm like, you guys gonna pay me to do this again? Okay, but you got all this stuff. I mean, you got it. I know I've done it, but I love the work. I love Broly, by the way. I'm honored to be a part of Dragon Ball Z. I mean, let's be honest, Dragon Ball Z is like, it's like one of the most well-known anime series. some could argue that it kind of paved the way for anime becoming more mainstream. You know, it's one of those shows like Pokemon, or Digimon, or Beyblades, or Speed Racer, or, you know, a handful of those shows that kind of brought anime into the mainstream.
I hate it.
So I was
I hated
thrilled
this show, I
to
love the
play a
game.
character in Dragon Ball Z.
I don't understand.